Baby, read this. It's important. Because her name, it's here. Not written in bold. Not shouted to the world. But it's in every sentence I speak. Even when I'm quiet. It's in everything I do now. She's in everything, and I don't know how to explain this without sounding like I've completely lost myself. Because maybe I have lost myself in her. The way she looks at me like I'm more than I think I am. The way she says my name, like it's not just a word, but a place she trusts. I didn't plan this, didn't expect to be here, but I've been carrying this inside me for days, for weeks, maybe longer. So if you're reading this, please stay with me. But it echoes in my mind more than any headline, more than any voice I've ever heard. Because she stayed, when others pulled away. When I gave every reason to walk, she stayed still, not because she had to, but because that's who she is. She doesn't need to be known by the world, but she's unforgettable to me, and that matters more than anything. She didn't sweep me off my feet with charm. She simply showed up, again and again, even when I didn't know what I needed. I remember the way she looked at me during one of my worst days. I had nothing to give. No energy, no light, just wait. But she didn't run. She didn't panic. She just sat next to me, put her hand on mine, and whispered, "You don't have to speak. I feel you." That moment, it rewrote something in me. Because that's not just affection. That's love. Real, quiet, unshakable. And now I see her name everywhere. Not literally, but in the peace I've started to feel again. In the way I sleep better. In the way I smile without thinking. In the way I breathe softer when I hear her voice. So yes, baby, this is important. Because her name, it's the one I've been afraid to say too loudly. But the one I've been whispering in my heart over and over. And it's time you knew there was no big moment, no dramatic scene, no music playing in the background. Just me, sitting alone one evening, thinking about nothing and everything all at once. And her name came to mind, soft, gentle, uninvited, but so welcome. I didn't speak it out loud, didn't write it down. But it was there, and I realized something I hadn't noticed before. Her name wasn't just in my thoughts. It was already inside me, in the way I paused, when I saw something she'd love, in the way I smiled at messages that hadn't even been sent yet, in the way I kept reaching for my phone without thinking, just to feel close to her. It hit me slowly, like sunlight through a window you forgot was open. She had already become part of my daily rhythm. The way I wake, the way I feel safe. Even in chaos. Just because I know she exists. Her name, it was no longer something I just said. It showed up in the way I responded to life. In the softness that came back to my voice. In the way I didn't carry things alone anymore. Even when I didn't share them. She never asked for that place in me. She never forced it. She just earned it, quietly, fully. And I don't think I realized how deep she had settled into me until I heard someone else say her name. Not in a bad way, just in passing. But something inside me tightened. Not from jealousy, but from recognition. That's her. That's my person. Not mine to own. Not mine to control, but mine to protect, to cherish, to never take for granted again. And in that moment, I knew it wasn't just her name, it was everything that name meant to me, everything it reminded me of, everything it brought back to life in me. So yes, baby, her name is here, and not just in this story. It's written into who I'm becoming now. It's been heavy. Every day I didn't say it. Every moment I smiled through, knowing she had no idea what was living in my chest. It wore on me. Because how do you look at someone who makes your heart softer and say nothing? How do you sit there, listening to her speak, and not blurt out everything, that she's the calm in your storm? That her name feels like safety, that just hearing from her turns an entire day around. But I stayed quiet. Not because I didn't feel it, but because I felt it too much. I told myself maybe it was too early. Maybe I'd scare her away. Maybe she didn't feel it like I did. So I swallowed it. Every word, every little moment when I wanted to reach for her and say, "You don't even know what you're doing to me." Like the night she sent that voice note. The one where she laughed halfway through. That sound stayed in my head for days, and I couldn't even tell her. Or the time she messaged just to check in. She said, "I don't know why, but I felt like you needed someone today." She was right. I did. But all I replied was, "I'm good. Thanks." When what I really wanted to say was, "You always know you're the only one who sees through the mask." But I didn't. And every time I held it in, I felt like I was robbing her of the truth she deserved to hear. That her name doesn't just live in my heart, it grounds it. That her presence in my life isn't a background thing, it's everything. And maybe that's why I'm writing this now, because the weight of silence has grown too loud. And I'd rather risk being too open than spend another day making her feel ordinary, when to me, she's unforgettable. There was a moment, quiet, small, probably forgettable to anyone else, but it changed everything for me. She was talking, just telling me a story about her day. Nothing heavy, nothing dramatic. But I wasn't really hearing the story. I was watching her. The way her eyes lit up when she talked about something she cared about. The way she used her hands when she got excited. The way she kept looking at me like my silence didn't scare her. Like she was patient enough to wait for whatever was sitting behind my quiet eyes. And that's when it hit me. I can't keep hiding from this. Not when love looks at me like that. Not when it shows up every single day in someone like her. Because I was scared. Not of loving her, I'd already fallen, but of what it might mean to let her know. What if it changed everything? What if she didn't feel the same? What if I opened my heart fully and she didn't choose to stay? But then I asked myself something simple. What if she never hears it at all? What if she walks through life never knowing how much she meant to me? What if she moves on, always wondering if I ever truly cared? What if I look back one day and realize I had everything in front of me, but fear made me silent, and that scared me more than anything. So, right then, I decided, even if I stumble through the words, even if my voice shakes, even if she doesn't say it back, I'm going to tell her, because she deserves to know. She deserves to know that her name is not just written in this message, it's engraved in my soul. That her laugh is my favorite sound. That her presence is my peace. That she didn't just pass through my life, she transformed it. I don't want to look back and say, she almost knew. I want to say, she knew everything. This part, this is just for you. No stories, no build-up, no holding back. Just me finally saying what I should have said a long time ago. You are the calm in my chaos. The light I didn't know I needed until everything felt dark. And you walked in, quietly, gently, without asking for attention, and gave me peace anyway. You make me feel seen in ways I can't explain. You notice the things others miss. You remember the small stuff. You ask questions that reach parts of me, even I forgot were there. There are moments when I watch you just being yourself, and I swear my heart forgets how to beat like it used to. It doesn't rush. It doesn't panic. It just rests. Because with you, I feel safe. I love how your eyes carry softness, even when you try to act tough. I love the way your voice changes when you're tired, how you say, I'm fine, even when you're not, and still make space for everyone else's feelings anyway. I love your strength, but I also love your vulnerability more, because that's where I see the real you. The version that doesn't perform, the version that feels deeply, loves quietly, and still chooses to show up, even when it's hard. And if no one else says this to you, if the world never stops long enough to remind you what you are, let me say it now, clearly, completely, and without fear. You are love. You are home. You are the one I've been writing to this entire time. Yes, this message is about you. It has always been about you. I just didn't know how to say it. I didn't know how to carry something so precious without fumbling, but I'm not scared anymore. Because loving you, really loving you, has been the most natural truth my heart has ever held. So now that you know this is about you, that it's always been about you, there's just one more thing I need to ask. Not a dramatic question. Not a ring, not a vow, not some fairy tale moment. Just this. Will you trust me? Not all at once. Not perfectly. Just a little more each day. I'm not asking for blind belief. I'm not promising I'll never mess up. But I am promising this. I'll show up for the small things. For the days when you're quiet. For the moments when your walls go up and you need space, but still want to feel held. I'll be there when you laugh at things no one else finds funny. I'll listen when your voice shakes, telling stories you swore you'd never share. I'll stay when your heart gets scared and starts pulling away, because I'll know it's not rejection. It's just your way of asking, will you stay this time? And I will. I don't want to win your heart with promises I can't keep. I want to earn it with presence, with consistency, with the kind of love that says you're safe here, always. So no, this isn't a perfect love story, but it's real. And I'd rather give you a real hand to hold than 1,000 pretty words I can't live up to. So take your time, ask me anything, watch me if you need to. But just know this. Every day I wake up, I'm choosing you. In the quiet, in the chaos, in the ordinary moments we build side by side. I am here, and I'm not going anywhere.